What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod, and I'm a full-time eBay and Poshmark seller. And in today's video, I want to go over 3 reasons why new resellers usually quit within the first 6 months. Now, if you guys are interested in these kind of videos, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, y'all, so the first reason why most new resellers quit within the first 6 months is because they have a lack of self-motivation. Now, for me, I do this full time, so the majority of my money, the way I pay my bills, the way I go on vacation, the way I buy groceries, everything is based on how much money I bring in via reselling and YouTube and different things like that. So in terms of having self-motivation, I already know if I don't make money and if I don't go out and do what I have to do, I'm not going to get a paycheck, and if I do get a paycheck, it's probably not going to be enough to really sustain my lifestyle. So for me, that's really my motivation. But I do realize that there are a lot of people that they want to get into reselling, but you know, for the most part, they already have a full-time job and they're just trying to use this as a side hustle. But because this is not their main source of income, they're not taking it as serious and they're doing it on a very, very part-time basis. And it's almost to the point where it's like less than part-time. They're probably putting in maybe 2 hours a week. And for the most part, I don't think that's enough time to generate a business and really start a business from the ground up. And even if it is a side hustle for you and you just want to bring in a few extra $100 each month, you're definitely going to need to put in some man hours in the very beginning. And without having that self-motivation, you're not going to want to do what you necessarily need to do in terms of sourcing, in terms of listing, in terms of ironing your items.
20 minutes later.
Cleaning the products before you ship them out, learning different brands to sell. Like, it's so many different things that encompasses being a good reseller that if you don't have the self-motivation, you're not going to want to go out and do these things and just go out and be successful overall. So for me, I do think that's probably one of the main reasons why a lot of new resellers quit, because they lack motivation and they're so used to that constant 9-to-5 living that once they're outside of that realm, you know, having to motivate themselves to get something done is just kind of different, and it's a lot difficult when you don't have a supervisor breathing down your neck or you don't have coworkers to kind of give you that support. So if this describes you in any way, definitely reconsider being a reseller, because it just might not be for you. Now, number 2, the other reason why a lot of new resellers quit within the first 6 months is because they're constantly comparing themselves to other people. Now, I'm just talking about reselling because that's what I do, but I do think that could be a huge detriment to any entrepreneur that's trying to get into a new genre. Now, for me, when I first started out, of course, I was, watching other YouTubers and other resellers and trying to learn some tips and tricks and just try to learn how to be better. But at the same time, I did find myself comparing myself to other resellers and saying, wow, this person made X amount of money, or this person has great thrift stores in their area, or this person has a whole team around them. And once you start comparing yourself to other people, you start to lose focus on yourself, and you start to just lose focus on the actual goal. Because at the end of the day, you comparing yourself to somebody else isn't going to help your business. It isn't going to put any money in your pocket. So you really do need to focus on yourself and just drown out some of the outside noise. Now, at the end of the day, I do think it is super important to learn as much as you can from other people, because obviously that's why I'm putting out these kind of videos, so that you guys can learn from some of my mistakes and just some of the tips that I'm giving out. But at the same time, don't get too caught up in what other people are doing and really just focus on your own business. And by doing that, you'll be able to really scale up a lot quicker, because instead of putting your energy in other people's business, you'll be focusing your energy on your own. Now, the third reason why so many new resellers usually quit within the first 6 months is because they need a consistent and constant paycheck. Now, I was honestly just talking about this a couple days with a few other of my friends that do have their own business. And when it comes down to being an entrepreneur, there really is no consistent or constant paycheck. And yes, you can expect to know that you'll be making money on a specific day, or you can expect a certain check on a certain day. But for the most part, in terms of that monetary value, you really never know how much you're going to bring in every single month. And for some people, that's just a little too difficult. Their circumstances are different. They may have kids. They may have, a whole bunch of different responsibilities to tend to. And not having that consistent paycheck could really drive somebody crazy and not want them to just follow through with their business. So definitely understand that when it comes to reselling, the chances are there's probably never going to be a consistent paycheck, and there are going to be slow times where business is going to be really slow and you're going to consider quitting. And then there's going to be points where business is booming, like the fourth quarter, where most people get a lot of their sales because people are shopping for gifts and presents and stuff like that. But like I said, when it comes to business in general and specifically reselling, there probably will never be a consistent paycheck. The only thing that you can bank on in terms of consistency is how often you go out and source, how often you list, and how often you do the research so that you can get better at your craft. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to needing a consistent source of income or a constant paycheck, being an entrepreneur or a reseller probably isn't the best way to go about it. But as long as you are consistent in your actions and you're responsible for what you got to do, you can develop some consistency in terms of the amount of money that you can bring in. And that's probably one of my favorite things about being my own boss, is because I know if I put in the work and I put in the effort, the money will come. And if I don't, the money usually doesn't come. Now, I do know I only had 3 reasons for you guys, but I wanted to throw in a bonus tip. And number 4 is because new resellers, they don't like listings or sourcing, or they just really don't like making mistakes. Now, all 3 of these things I wanted to just throw into one, because at the end of the day, they all work together. You have to go out and you have to source, and once you source, you have to list those items. And sometimes you might come home and you might pick up an item that has a hole or a stain, or it's a brand that just isn't that strong and it doesn't sell for much money. So at the end of the day, that's a mistake. But honestly, those type of mistakes, they're constantly gonna happen, and I always make those mistakes to this day. And I'm 2 years into this, but those same mistakes do happen. But at the end of the day, I'm constantly learning from those mistakes, and I don't do it as often as I used to, even though those mistakes do still happen. So definitely keep that in mind if you're a new reseller and you're kind of getting frustrated because you're not making enough money, or you're constantly buying things that don't resell for a good profit. Just keep doing the research and just know that you're going to do well eventually. Sometimes people learning curves are a little longer than others. I know for me, it took me a little longer to kind of really master eBay. But once I figured out exactly how to do it and what works best for me, I do think now at this point, I got eBay under control. And at this point, I'm really just trying to focus on Poshmark. So that's all I got for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And if there's any reasons that I may have forgotten, drop that in the comment section so we could keep this conversation going. And if you guys got any comments, any questions, drop it in the comment section and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.